quarterfinal bout of the $1 million Bellator Bantamweight World Grand Prix. How do they match up in terms of the numbers?
You can take a look at everything, and everything is very similar. The big difference, that 5'10" for Danny Sabatello. He uses a lean back to keep himself out of danger in the stand-up. That could be a difference.
Yeah, taller fighter, but it's Higo with the longer reach. Let's go to Michael C. Williams.
Live on Showtime, Bellator MMA now concludes the quarterfinals of the $1 million Bellator Bantamweight World Grand Prix. Set for 5 5-minute rounds. Introducing the blue corner. At 5'10", weighing in 134 3/4 pounds as a professional. 12 victories, just 1 loss by way of Chicago. He fights out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Danny, the Italian gangster, Sabatello. And across the cage, his adversary fighting out of the red corner. At 5'8", weighing in the exact same 134 3/4 pounds. His professional record, 21 wins with 5 defeats. From Mosoro, Rio Grande do Norte, Brazil, introducing Leandro Higo. In charge of the action, referee Dan Mergliata.
In the center. In the center. All right, gentlemen. We've been through the rules in the locker room. I want to obey my commands at all times.
You know you're fucked right now, right?
Listen. Come here.
He couldn't help him get another F-bomb in.
Come here.
We're talking about Danny Sabatello.
You obey my commands at all times. You can protect yourselves at all times. Any questions? Any questions? All right, do what
I'm just going to say that he was wishing him good luck.
Yes. Well, Leandro Higo, who has 8 wins in the first round, squaring off with Danny Sabatello on a 6-fight win streak with 6 wins in the opening round. Will Higo be able to silence Danny Sabatello, or will Sabatello continue to be the mouth that roars? And can you just imagine the level of trash talking we would be witness to if he were to make it to the semis and challenge interim champion Rafael Stocks?
Oh my God.
First things first.
There you go.
Number 6, Higo. Number 9, Sabatello.
Both guys, you know, in the start of their Bellator careers, came in on quick notices, but Higo came in with a fight against the champion, Eduardo Dantas, came in like a kamikaze, almost took it, almost took the title with a split decision.
Well, he was supposed to vie for the title, but remember one of the times where he missed weight, and he's had a penchant for doing so. But how does he look to you physically in terms of fight week and getting to this stage for this all-important fight?
You know, when we talked to him, I thought he really looked kind of sucked in and dry, but he really looks good right now. And he made weight easy for himself. That is a relief for him. I know he feels good about that. And right now, he's as good. He looks as good as I've ever seen him.
And speaking of good, 2 great camps, Pitbull Brothers for Higo, American top team for Danny Sabatello. And yes, Sabatello is as brash as they come, been able to back it up. We talk about his wrestling credentials. Who do you, I mean, we know about Higo's power, but it begins in the stand-up. And what do you think about Danny Sabatello early on in his approach?
Look, Danny Sabatello is doing the right thing. You can't just go out there and just be shooting for ridiculous takedowns. You got to set it up, and the way you set it up is with your hands or with your kicks, and make it to where your opponent believes that you're coming in for that punch or that kick, and all of a sudden you're changing levels, driving into him and getting him down without burning a ton of energy.
And there, Sabatello throws the right hand.
Right now doing a very good job of controlling the distance. He's getting close to the cage, and then you see him circling out and creating at least a feint to stop Danny Sabatello in his tracks, and that's just causing that hesitation that is now allowing that takedown, and that's what he's looking for.
He is a proficient shooter from long range. In a different way, he's like the Curry of takedown artists because he scores from long range, and well, Higo is about to go on a trip, but instead, it's Sabatello attacking the back, putting the hook in.
Sabatello already getting the back. But Sabatello is able to shoot that shot from a long distance. That was done from way outside, and he got in clean. And This is where he wants to be. He can make Higo just work.
Yeah, Chef Sabatello
to the point where he gets exhausted.
In the opening round, controlling the back of Leandro Higo. So 2 for 3 now in the takedown department. And always looking to put on some kind of a show. Heel strikes to the heel almost.
Heel strikes to the shit.
Yeah, but it looked like it was almost a heel strike to the heel. I'm like, what is he doing?
And you're seeing what you're seeing is
been watching Royce Gracie vintage early UFC with the heel strikes.
Higo is using, you know, the one thing about having the gloves is it's kind of like a stopper on the end of your hand. And if you can wrap your hand around the wrist area, it's difficult for your opponent to get their hand free. And right now, Sabatello is having a problem getting his hands free from Higo.
Knee strike from Sabatello, looking to take advantage of his positioning. Puts one, well, had one hook in momentarily, but just riding the back of Leandro Higo. Back elbow from Higo. A minute remaining in the first round.
All of this, when you're looking at it, the one thing that you got to remember is Higo is dangerous with his power. When he's on the ground like this, there's no power. He can't land anything that's going to hurt Danny Sabatello, so Danny Sabatello is safe.
Yeah, Sabatello muting the offense of Higo. Higo credited with just 3 strikes landed, a total 8, and maybe that's the reason the fans are showing their disapproval. They want more action, and that's not the kind of action they want.
Well, you're seeing that Higo is clamped down. Sabatello cannot get his right hand free. He's trying, can't get it through that space. Don't look up at the referee. The referee can only do one thing, that's stand you up. That's not what you want. And there he goes with the stand up.
Sabatello's wrestling, giving him the edge in that first 5 minutes.
Look, there was nothing really in the stand-up. It goes to the grappling, and Sabatello got the takedown, got position, landed some strikes, you know, small, but landed them. Higo was only able to land one elbow.
Bora, agora. Segundo round, melhor round.
I want to take a moment to wish Sergio Pettis a fast recovery. Of course, the Bellator bantamweight champion, unfortunately suffering an injury, unable to compete in the tournament, hence why Rafion Stotts is the interim champion. Rafion Stotts on hand watching this fight with vested interest. He will face the winner in the semifinals. This is round number 2.
Sabatello actually doing a very nice job of keeping his hands high. You saw it. Leandro Higo able to throw those shots, but they're bouncing off of the form because the hands are held up high. Higo should look towards going towards the body.
Sabatello has scored with calf kicks. For the push kick, 30 seconds have gone here. The second, Leandro Higo needs to get on track offensively. He attacks with the calf kick. A lot of movement from Sabatello back to, oh, there's a jumping knee and then right into the takedown attempt, but it's stuffed by Higo looking for a submission attempt. Instead with the wizard.
Higo looking for that guillotine that he loves. He's got that arm in guillotine. He's very good with it. Sabatello keeping his head right to the center of the chest. That's what stopped him from being able to try to wrap that up. Sabatello wants to get Higo's back. There you go. Stop him off of the cage so he can't just stand up.
Sabatello started wrestling at the tender age of 4, two-time state champion in Illinois as he has the back of Higo. We talked about his credentials. Purdue University, a 3-time Division I NCAA championships qualifier, comes from a family of wrestlers, and he's using his bread and butter to put it on Higo here tonight.
Yeah, you got to go with what brung you. It is wrestling that brung.
And nice.
Sabatello, nice job.
Oh, Higo looking for the submission.
Having that Kimura grip.
Double wrist lock employed by Higo, releases it, but now he finds himself in dominant position with the body triangle on Sabatello. What a reversal for Higo.
Great job by Leandro Higo. Had that Kimura grip, tried to make a U-joint out of the elbow of Danny Sabatello.
And now attacking the body, trying to soften Sabatello up. Sabatello has been knocked out, his lone loss. 12-1, never been submitted, but being tested here in that department from Leandro Higo. 12 of Higo's 21 victories have come via submission.
One little mistake, and now Danny Sabatello is in a position. He's defending. He's got that figure four with the foot down, but he's not turning right now inside of it.
At this level, a tournament of this regard, comes down to those one little mistakes that you capitalize on, because that's the difference.
It can be the difference. There's so, people talk about the top fighters, and you say, look, it's not 1 percentage point, it's hundreds of percentage points that separate guys. Higo in this position, very, very calm, very relaxed. He knows he's got time to work.
He's got a huge edge in experience, this being his 27th professional fight compared to just 14th for Sabatello. And while Higo is silencing Sabatello for the moment, the crowd in full voice when it comes to their disapproval, although Higo put it on Sabatello with these elbows. And again, mixed martial arts, John. It's the ground game. There's wrinkles, there's nuances. They can't all be barn burners of the fistic variety, especially with guys at this level with their credentials and backgrounds.
Oh, and it's your ability to break your opponent down, and all those elbows to the shoulder. Have someone elbow you, 25 times to the shoulder and see how your arm feels and see how it works after that. These are the things that just start to break the fighter down.
Under a minute remaining in the second, and Leandro Higo has Danny Sabatello in trouble. .30 seconds left.
Danny Sabatello in a position now, he's just saying, all right, I'm going to give you this round. I understand I'm going to lose it. I'm just going to make sure I don't get finished here.
A big turnaround in the striking department, where all of a sudden Leandro Higo has now landed 34 total strikes compared to just 16 for Sabatello. As we go to round number 3.
He knows he won the round. He knows, okay, I'm feeling good. I can turn position on him. That was what Josh Thompson was talking about. He was talking about using a hook sweep, but just changing that position, that's what Leandro Higo can do.
Well, and Higo told us that when he first came to Bellator, everyone thought he was just a striker, and he was actually a Jiu-Jitsu guy, and he's always aspired to be a well-rounded fighter, and we saw signs of that in the second round. And John, on your unofficial scorecard, you have it even after 10 minutes.
I do have it even.
Half kicks from Sabatello. Sorry, John, finish your thought.
Not enough damage by Higo to give it a 10-8, but definitely wins the round easily, 10-9.
Nice combination from Higo. Left hook behind the guard, followed by the right hand, and Sabatello continues to attack with calf kicks.
And it was a nice job of Sabatello to hide that kick behind that right hand. He did it again.
And there's a calf kick from Higo. And there's the shot from Sabatello.
Nice job. You notice how he's getting to the side. He's avoiding the legs. And if he can avoid those legs, that arm-in guillotine or any guillotine is going to be very difficult for Leandro Higo to pull off.
4 for 5 in the takedown department for Sabatello. Higo has yet to attempt a takedown, but has defended well thus far, including a big reversal in the last round. And we talked about this earlier tonight, about the body triangle from bottom, John.
Drives me crazy. Why are you keeping this guy who wants to be in the top position exactly where he wants to be? Open up your guard, attack him, feet on the hips, push off. Don't just hold him where he wants to be. not going to win the battle of the ground and pound from the bottom. Unless the guy on top decides to go asleep on top.
And it's Higo controlling Sabatello's posture with just over 3 minutes left in the third round.
Nice right hand by Sabatello.
Sounds like the crowd was expecting a little more from the big talking Danny Sabatello.
Makes no difference what the crowd is saying. Sabatello's doing a good job with his ground and pound right now. He is being busy, he's being active, and he's landing clean shots. See Higo going after that hook sweep.
That's got half a butterfly hook employed. Gets both, could go for that elevator sweep, but with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left here in the third, it's Danny Sabatello sticking close to Higo on the ground from the guard.
Back of the head.
Sabatello wants to wear Higo down, wants to utilize what he feels is superior conditioning. Again, coming from that wrestling background, man, your conditioning is the best way to get into condition is to wrestle.
Well, and we'll see, because, you know, it is one of the things that Leandro Higo has had problems with in some of his fights, is his conditioning. But he said, I changed it all. I changed what I was doing. I changed my diet because I didn't want to be that guy that burned out. Right now, he's looking great.
Yeah, he's going to have to change his position here. 1:19 left in the third. Active on the bottom, trying to find a way to sweep or end up back on top. And for Danny Sabatello, yeah, it's one thing to be in this position, but now with some short strikes, has to continue to justify this position. Now wide base, John, putting pressure on Higo. There's a slashing elbow strike across the face by Sabatello.
That's called justification right there for your position. Higo needs to start looking towards changing up. He's gone to that hook sweep a couple of times. Sabatello has felt it. He got caught by it.
Elbow.
And now he's able to adjust to it. He's got to change up how he attacks and transitions to it.
Just over 30 seconds left in Sabatello with some ground and pound from the guard of Leandro Higo. Another elbow. There now he's postured, creating some separation. Can opener. There's another elbow strike, and Sabatello scoring with those elbows to the face.
Sabatello's doing a good job with ground and pound here. Yeah, he's in the guard, but he's staying busy. He's landing good shots. He's winning the round.
Heading into the fourth round, let's check in with the man who will face the winner in the semifinals, Rafion Superstats. Your thoughts thus far, my man?
Man, I don't feel like, so the Connecticut fans ain't really feeling this fight, but I'm feeling it, you know? I feel like Sabatello is now going back to what he knows. Like, you're not a striker, bro. You suck there. Don't even go there. You a grappler. Don't wrestle this dude. Wrestle him to the ground, you know what I mean? Wrestle, wrestle, wrestle. And I feel like he's starting to wear on wear on Higo, and he's starting to land some elbows. He just got to keep wearing on him. As for Higo is a really good grappler. He made kind of a terrible decision to go to the body triangle, but he's a really good grappler. When you get to these positions, you just got to keep creating things in your grappling transitions, and you'll do well.
We head into round number 4 of this quarterfinal matchup of the Bellator Bantamweight World Grand Prix. We saw Magomedov become the first person to stop Enrique Barzola strikes, and he will face Patchy Mix in the semis. But here we go, round number 4. How do you have it after 3 on your unofficial scorecard, John?
Unofficially, I have right now Sabatello up 2 rounds to 1. So we'll see what happens. He won that last round. Higo needs to figure out a way to keep himself from being taken down and being on his back.
There's the jab by Higo as Sabatello changed levels, and now Higo attacking the neck.
Yeah, he does not have that right now, though. too much pressure with the shoulder. You see the shoulder of Sabatello, that right shoulder. You see how it breaks? That's the pressure pushing his head back. You can't hold on to that.
Meanwhile, Sabatello now with 5 takedowns out of 6 attempts. And we talked, you know, Stotts mentioned it, how good Higo is as a grappler, and here wanting to showcase some of his proficiency, his flexibility, but Sabatello remains, top position, remains in the guard.
Higo is good as a grappler, but there's certain basics that you're seeing Danny Sabatello doing. Both hands in, both hands out, trying to keep his hands off the mat. You see every time he's going for that hook sweep. You see his hips get heavy, his legs go out to create more pressure. You see how his legs go back. He's doing all the things. He's felt it once from Leandro Higo, and then once he's felt it once, he knows, okay, I know what you do, and now I'm going to stop.
And the veteran Higo positioning himself, wanting to use the cage, may be able to launch himself to a reversal here, but wide base by the wrestling great Danny Sabatello, lands the right hand and continues with dogged determination, attacks the back.
He missed that hook. He tried to get that left leg in for the hook.
Then delivers the knee, and now gets the hook in. Constant micro battles taking place for positioning, and now hook is back in. Sabatello from this position, John, of course, just Higo carrying Sabatello's weight. Sabatello looking to physically and mentally break him.
That is not an easy thing to do when you've got a guy that understands how to put pressure, and he's riding on your back this way, putting pressure down on you. It wears you out. Higo's doing a good job of trying to fight through it. Trying to break the hands right now.
And meanwhile, Sabatello takes him back down, has his back. 6 of 7 in the takedown department, has the one hook, unable to get the other hook in, and now wanting to slide his left forearm under the neck of Higo. Higo defending well, but unable to keep these left hands from raining into his head. Knee to the side by Sabatello.
And it's just a matter of time is going by. Higo is unable to be offensive. He's defending against everything that Sabatello is trying to do, but he has no offense coming towards Danny Sabatello. That's how rounds just go one by one into your opponent's bodies.
Higo has been submitted once in his career. That was against Darion Caldwell, Bellator 195 back in March 2018 via guillotine choke. Sabatello not even threatening with the rear naked choke here. It's more about control, more about positioning, and more about wearing down the 33-year-old Higo. And they're feeding him a steady diet of left hands underneath the armpit.
Those are nice shots by Danny Sabatello there.
Dan Henderson landed a nice shot like that against a guy named Fedor Emelianenko. 30 seconds left in the fourth.
Well, they say the ones that you don't see are the ones that hurt you, and they're not lying.
20 seconds.
Well, Danny Sabatello has been able to shut down Leandro Higo, but he hasn't been able to silence this crowd. Oh, it's spinning back fist by Higo, and another one. And finally, some life for the fourth round from Leandro Higo.
Here comes the end of the round. You see Sabatello. He takes a good shot with the spinning back fist. Not enough to do any damage. He comes right back at him, but it landed, but that's not enough for Higo to take the round.
Es 3-1.
All right, well, it is going to be a sizzling summer of Bellator MMA action. We will make our debut Pacific Northwest at Emerald Queen Arena, Tacoma, Washington. Lightweight champion Patricky Pitbull. He defends against #1 ranked contender Sydney Outlaw. Then, August 12th, we return to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And what a battle of submission specialists. Neiman Gracie against Goichi Yamauchi. And finally, September 23rd, Bellator returns to the 3 Arena in Dublin for what should be a barn burner lightweight bout between Benson Henderson and Ireland's own Peter Queally. That's all coming up. Bellator MMA on Showtime, and coming your way right now, the fifth
Final round. Let's go, Joe.
and final round of this quarterfinal matchup in the Bantamweight World Grand Prix between the #6 ranked Leandro Higo and the #9 ranked Danny Sabatello. How do you have it after 4?
Right now, I've got Sabatello up 3-1. Higo's going to have to do something special in this round, in my opinion. Either finish the fight or have a great round.
The shot was defended momentarily and maybe running out of some real estate is Sabatello, but he picks Higo up and deposits him back down.
Nice job of avoiding that leg, but he's still in a position. Higo's good with that guillotine. Needs to be careful. Sabatello pops his head out. Right back to what we've seen for most of this fight. Other than the second round, this is the position they've been in.
Nine of 12 when it comes to takedowns from the takedown machine at Danny Sabatello. And while it may not be the most aesthetically pleasing for some of the fans here in Connecticut, again, a guy who built his athletic career on following in the family's footsteps of wrestling, was able to morph in a mixed martial artist, and D1 wrestlers have enjoyed great success as mixed martial artists at American Top Team. And Sabatello smothering Higo, and Sabatello controlling Leandro Higo.
Sabatello right now is doing a great job. Doesn't matter what the fans say or anything like that. You're always going to get fans. They want the knockout. They want the big, you know, the fight where both guys are going crazy. This is called winning a fight. This is called wearing a guy out. That's what Sabatello's good at.
Knees to the left leg of Higo, and really it is incumbent on Leandro Higo trying to turn things around. And although again, he said, you know, when we talk about this, how many times have we seen this? He continues to be taken down, and yes, Higo may be comfortable from his back, but how much more can he take? It's now 10 of 13, and with each and every takedown, you lose that much more energy.
Absolutely. You're seeing Sabatello do exactly what you've got to hold your head, shoulder pressure into him, create the pressure where he can't squeeze. Sabatello's doing everything right. Higo does have power. He's got power in his hands. He's a good jiu-jitsu stylist. But when a guy understands exactly how you set up your submissions or your changes of position, and he can stop it like Sabatello's been doing, there's not going to be the submission, and you can't punch that hard off of your back.
Sabatello's been credited with landing 105 strikes compared to 61 for Higo. We talk about his domination in the takedown department, and now here it is, a minute 19 left. Separation between them, but not for long.
That's exactly what, when you start to pressure that way and come into it fast, Sabatello's going to change levels, get right in your legs, take you down. Higo's starting to get a little frustrated.
A minute left.
On his face, he's trying, he's working hard. He just can't stop the takedowns of Danny Sabatello.
Higo's 3-fight win streak in jeopardy. Danny Sabatello already 2-0 in his burgeoning Bellator MMA career. Made a statement with his mouth, making a statement with his wrestling. 30 seconds left in the fight. Final 10 seconds of the final quarterfinal bout of the Bellator Bantamweight World Grand Prix. Some ground and pound from Sabatello to finish the proceedings. And we will go to the judges.
Overall, 117 strikes landed, 11 takedowns. 11 takedowns, Morrow. That's a huge difference. 14 minutes of ground control compared to 2:52.
Danny Sabatello, post-fight conversation with Mike Brown, coach at American Top Team, and Sabatello told us he's ready to take over the whole game. He used 11 takedowns to dominate Leandro Higo, and well, let's find out who will advance to the semifinals and an opportunity to become interim Bellator Bantamweight champion. Here's Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the decision, we'll go to your three judges at cage side. Brian Miner, Doug Crosby, David Peabody. All three scored exactly the same, 49-46. By unanimous decision, he earns his place in the semifinal round of the Bantamweight World Grand Prix. Danny, the Italian gangster, Sabatello.
Danny Sabatello showing some sportsmanship, going over to Leandro Higo's corner. He landed 11 takedowns. I wonder if the over-under on F-bombs about to be delivered. I think it's 11, Big John.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with the winner, Danny Sabatello. Danny, you went out there and you did your type of fight. You made it ugly, you made it grimy. Wrestling was the difference.
Yeah, you know what, Big John? I was told if I swore in my post-fight interview, I might get fined, so it's a good thing I don't give a fuck. I just beat an absolute animal, and not one of you are gonna do shit. You wanna do something? Come in here right now and do something.
Now that you have the crowd on your side, you had a good fight as far as you were able to stop, except for the second round. He caught you, he got in the top position, you survived all of the attempts that he had in trying to choke you, and you learned from that moment on, you kept going back to the same thing. How did you feel as far as the way you were fighting in here?
Yeah, I'm glad that I faced that adversity inside this Bellator cage. You know, it's a lot when there's so many fucking people, you're on Showtime, but I weathered that storm, I was patient, I came back, and I dominated. That's what I do. I'll rile up the crowd, because all of you are pussies, and none of you will do shit. Where's Stats at?
All right, I got Rafion Stats. Rafion, you were up there watching. So, Rafion, you were up there watching. What do you think of his performance?
He fucking sucked. That shit was terrible. That shit was terrible. God damn. Like, all you can do is wrestle, bro. Oh, my God. Hey, I want to say congratulations to Danny Sabatello, because you won yourself an ass whooping. So, congratulations. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the semifinals, you will have the Italian gangster, Danny Sabatello, against Rafion Super Stats.
And I, for one, cannot wait. Number 9 ranked Danny Sabatello, unable to silence the crowd, but he silenced Leandro Higo, dominating him, but Rafion Stats, he is a fan favorite here tonight, the interim bantamweight champion, who will defend the title against Danny Sabatello, who's now 3-0 in the Bellator MMA cage. It's for the championship in the semifinals.